It's Monday, August 28th, and I've got 3 parlays on the way. Let's go. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays today as we just try to get to the bag and make some money. Like I mentioned, I've got 3 parlays on deck for you guys today. I've got an early game parlay, I've got a late night parlay, and I've got a hitter parlay for you guys. So make sure you stay for the whole video so you get all 3 of those picks. Now, in our last show on Friday, we didn't do too well. We didn't end off the week the way we wanted to. We cashed it on the Dodgers money line, but we did lose on the Orioles run line, and we did lose on our 3-leg player prop hitter parlay as we lost on Bo Bichette ending his hit streak right there. You hate to see it, but it's okay. 1-2 day. You can see our year-to-date record right here. We're still crushing it, still killing it in baseball, still over 500. So hopefully we can keep that record going. We can keep that momentum going. If you could, drop a big thumbs up on the video for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. And let's dive into our first best bet. So for our first best bet of the day, I've got a 2-team parlay here, and I'm taking the Padres on the first 5 money line. I'm taking the Orioles on the first 5 money line. So I'm parlaying both of these two on the first 5, and if you do that, we get about plus 122 odds here, and you can't beat that value based on what we've got here with both of these teams. So on the first matchup, we've got Blake Snell versus Adam Wainwright, right? And you know, if you've been tapped into the channel and the show, that we've been on the Wainwright fade retirement train all year round, and here's another stop on that tour, right? Wainwright's been absolutely dismal this year, and truthfully, if he didn't have the career that he did, if he didn't have the notoriety in the city of St. Louis like he's had, he would have already been designated for assignment. So listen, it's one of those things where, you know, I think he's going to finish out the year for the Cards, considering that they're not in playoff contention anyway. But an 8.61 ERA on the road with 5 straight money line losses for the Cards when he starts, it's not been a profitable year for Wainwright, and we're going to take advantage of that because it's been profitable for us because we've been fading him. In his last start against the Pirates, he went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 6 earned runs in that matchup, and only 2 starts before that, he only went 1 inning against the Royals and he gave up 8 runs. So you can kind of see the type of form that he's been in, and now you got to tell me you got to face Blake Snell, who's been arguably one of the best and hottest pitchers in the NL all year. He leads the NL in ERA and second in strikeouts, so he's been in top form, basically Cy Young form, and he's one of the leading candidates right now. I just think the Padres, even though they've been disappointing on offense, and yes, they've been a disappointing team all year, and so have the Cardinals, I just think they're the better of the disappointing teams. And I know it's hard to pay this type of money for the Padres, but just considering the matchup that we're getting with Adam Wainwright and how bad he has been, I think that we can profit today with Blake Snell on the mound. So give me the Padres on the first 5. Money line is the first leg of the parlay. And you might want to look at the over as well, as I think both of these teams do score some runs. Blake Snell has been in good form, but he has given up a few runs of late. I do believe that Padres will outscore the Cardinals here, but I think this is a good safe bet for the first leg of the parlay. Now on the second leg of the parlay, we're going with the Orioles on the first 5 money line. We did lose on this play yesterday inside the Telegram group. If you are inside the Telegram group, then click the link in the bio. It's a free group that we have right now that we're building a community, putting out winners every single day. And listen, we're about to transfer over to Discord real soon, so you might as well get on the free platform while you have access. But even though we lost on this play yesterday, we're going to run it back today because I think that we have a really good matchup with Grayson Rodriguez against Michael Kopech. I really like the form Grayson Rodriguez has been in, and I just think this is just an overall sizable pitching mismatch and a lineup mismatchup. I mean, we're looking at 2 teams here that have been trending in different directions, and Kopech has struggled all year for the White Sox, and one of the biggest things that stands out to me is his lack of control. He's given up at least 4 walks in each of his last 5 starts, and Baltimore is one of those teams that are not really taking a lot of walks. If you're going to give up free base runners, and you've got a team like the Orioles who are going to be able to take advantage of that, and because they score a lot of runs, that's not a good matchup and a good recipe. Kopech has also struggled on the road with a 5.6 ERA. I think based on the fact that Grayson Rodriguez has been able to find his form of late, his high ERA is because of his early starts, not over his starts over the last month or two. The hot offense of the Orioles should be able to jump on the White Sox early and Kopech. So give me the Orioles on the first 5 money line, parlay that with the Padres first 5 money line, and that should get us a really good odds plus 122 as our first best bet of the day. For my second best bet of the day, we're going with another 2-leg parlay, and we're going to take the D-backs on the run line at plus 1.5, and then we're going to take the Mariners on the money line, parlay those together, and you get to about 115 odds. So that's really good, double your money again. In this matchup, we've got Zach Gallen versus Bobby Miller in the D-backs and Dodgers matchup. I really like this pitching matchup. I like when we can get 2 young NL stars in the middle of the season, and truthfully in a very heated divisional and playoff race as we come down the backstretch of the playoffs, and that's the reason why I really like the D-backs in this matchup. matchup to cover on the run line because they need to win these games. Yeah, the Dodgers are are sizably up in the division, so they have the division on lock. But the D-backs really need to make a push for this wild card spot, and we've seen them be able to do it. They've won 12 of their last 15 games, so they are hot. Yes, and I get the Dodgers have been hot as well. Their bats have been on fire, but the D-backs have been really, really good of late. I've been closing that gap on that playoff race, or at least on the NL wild card, and I like the form Zach Gallen's been in. He's been in really good form. 3 straight starts with 1 ERA or less against the Padres and the Rangers, so 2 really good lineups there. And Bobby Miller, he's been on the other side, not as strong for the Dodgers. He's coming off a 6-hit, 4-run outing against the Guardians, and that was an ultimate loss for them, 8-3. I think this is a funny matchup because Gallen is good at home and not on the road, but Bobby Miller is good on the road and not at home. So both of these guys, somebody's going to have to show up today and have to kind of come out of their shell, and I think it's going to be Zach Gallen. He's been the better pitcher of late. D-backs have been hotter of late. So give me the D-backs just to cover the run line. I don't know if they'll necessarily get the win. I think you should sprinkle some on the money line because there's really good value there. But I think them to cover the 1.5 is a really good safe bet for the first leg of the parlay. And then on the other leg of the parlay, we're not fading the Mariners. They're just the hottest team in baseball right now. They've gone absolutely crazy. They swept the Royals over the weekend, putting up even 15 runs on Saturday. So their bats have been absolutely on fire. And if you've been sleeping, not only have you missed that the Mariners have won 11 of their last 12 games, but you've also probably missed that they've taken the lead in the AL West as well. They've jumped over the Rangers and the Astros. And now that we have the A's coming into town, we know that the Mariners cannot drop this game because they're only 1 game up in that AL West race. So this is an opportunity for you to take advantage of a weaker team like you did in the Royals by sweeping them. You got to take advantage of a team like the A's, and you've got to sweep them. And this is just one of those games at home that you have to take advantage of. The A's have struggled on the road this year, 18-48 record on the road. Now, Brian Wu, who is starting for the Mariners, he struggled at home this year, so I'm not a big fan of that. And we have seen the A's exploit right-handed pitchers who have struggled of late. I mean, the A's have gotten some runs on the board over the last month or so, but I just don't see them winning this game just because of how hot the Mariners have been. And then Kyler Mueller, the starter for the A's, he faced Seattle back in May. He went 5 innings in that game, 8 hits, 6 runs. And the fact that this team's already had success against him, I'm not a big fan of as well. So give me the Mariners on the money line. Parlay that with the D-backs on the plus 1.5 run line, plus 115 odds. If you want to get a little bit more juice on that parlay, then you might want to take the D-backs on the money line, the Mariners on the money line. I think you can even look at the over in that Mariners game as well. And like I said, I think runs will be scored in that one. If you go with that, that's a pretty safe bet for tonight. That should be able to cash in for the second best bet. For our third and final best bet, we're going with a 2-leg player prop parlay. Let's keep it short and sweet. Julio Rodriguez, Kerry Carpenter, 2 hitters, been absolutely on fire. Parlay those together, about minus 110 odds or so there on Bovada. Kerry Carpenter, favorable pitching matchup. Luis Severino, we've taken a hitter parlay against every time he's on the mound because he gives a ton of hits. 11.87 hits per 9 innings he gives up. And Kerry Carpenter is a guy who's going to take advantage of that. Batting .350 over the last 15 games. He has at least 1 hit in 21 of the last 25 matchups. He's been hitting right-handed pitchers well, batting close to 300 against righties. And he didn't get a hit last night, so you know he's going to bounce back today. Kerry Carpenter is going to get the party started off against Severino as the first leg of the parlay. And then Julio Rodriguez, we've just been taking him and riding his hot streak just over the past 11, 15 games. I mean, we're just going to keep going and going and going because he's just been cashing in. 12-game hit streak for Julio Rodriguez, batting .308 against left-handed pitchers, 2 out of 3 against Mueller in plate appearances. And Mueller's a guy who gives a ton of hits, 12.44 hits per 9 innings. Julio Rodriguez is going to extend that hitting streak to 13 today, and Kerry Carpenter is going to add to that. So let's put these two together and let's cash it as our final and best bet of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 plays, 3 parlays. No other way we're going to take it except for to cash it. Hopefully we can end tonight strong and end off this week of August the strong way. And as we build into college football, I'm going to have a college football video for you guys this week. So be on the lookout as we get ready for week 1 in college football. Join the Telegram group. The link is in the bio. Appreciate the support. Let's get to that bread today. Let's make some money. I'll talk to y'all later.